The year is 117 AD. Rome stands at the apex of its power. The empire sprawls across 3 continents. From the misty shores of Britannia to the scorching sands of Syria, the Pax Romana reigns. Legions, disciplined and unyielding, march beneath the standards of their eagles. Roads, straight as a legionary's spear, connect the far-flung corners of the empire. A magnificent network of aqueducts quenches the thirst of sprawling cities. In the heart of it all, the eternal city itself, a monument to power and ambition. Marble gleams, fountains sing. Senators, clad in flowing togas, debate the fate of nations. Emperors, worshipped as living gods, dispense justice and command the legions. This is Rome at its zenith, a beacon of civilization in a world shrouded in shadow. But even in this golden age, shadows stir. The seeds of discontent are sown. The very factors that propelled Rome to greatness will, in time, bring about its downfall. The empire's vastness, once a source of pride, becomes a burden. The sheer size of the Roman Empire, which once symbolized its strength and grandeur, now stretches its resources thin. The sprawling territories, from the wind-swept coasts of Britannia to the sun-baked deserts of Egypt, demand constant attention and resources. Maintaining the legions, administering distant provinces, the costs are staggering. The logistical challenges of moving troops across such vast distances are immense. Roads, once the arteries of the empire, now seem endless and fraught with peril. The administrative machinery creaks under the weight of its own complexity. The empire's coffers begin to dwindle. The once overflowing treasury filled with the spoils of conquest now echoes with emptiness. Inflation rises as the value of Roman coins diminishes, and the economic strain becomes palpable. Taxes rise, squeezing the life out of the provinces. The burden on the common people grows heavier, leading to widespread discontent. Farmers, artisans, and merchants alike feel the pinch as their hard-earned wealth is siphoned away to support the distant capital. Corruption festers in the heart of the empire. Officials, once the pillars of Roman integrity, now succumb to greed and bribery. The rot spreads, undermining the very foundations of Roman governance. Decadence grips the ruling class. The elite, ensconced in their opulent villas, indulge in excess and luxury. Their detachment from the struggles of the common people grows ever more pronounced. Emperors, more concerned with personal power than the welfare of the empire, engage in bitter power struggles. The corridors of power echo with the sounds of intrigue and betrayal as leaders vie for supremacy. The once stable hand of Roman rule falters. Monuments that once stood as testaments to Roman engineering and might now show signs of decay. The cracks in the marble are symbolic of the deeper fissures within the empire. On the empire's frontiers, barbarian tribes stir. These tribes, long held at bay by the might of Rome, sense the weakening of their formidable adversary. The fires of their encampments burn brighter, fueled by ambition and opportunity. Driven by pressure from the east and lured by the riches of Rome, they begin to test the empire's defenses. The once impenetrable borders now seem vulnerable, and the barbarians grow bolder in their incursions. At first they are little more than a nuisance. Small raids and skirmishes are easily repelled, but they are a harbinger of greater threats to come. But their raids grow bolder, their numbers swell. The trickle of invaders becomes a torrent, and the Roman legions find themselves increasingly outmatched. The legions, stretched thin, find it increasingly difficult to hold the line. The once disciplined ranks of Roman soldiers now struggle to maintain their cohesion and effectiveness. The fabric of Roman society begins to unravel. Social unrest grows as the populace loses faith in their leaders and the promise of Roman stability. The old virtues of discipline, self-sacrifice, and civic duty give way to apathy, greed, and self-interest. The moral decay is evident in every corner of the empire, from the bustling cities to the quiet countryside. Rome, once seemingly invincible, is starting to crumble from within. The grandeur of the past is overshadowed by the stark reality of the present, as the empire teeters on the brink of collapse. The year is 395 AD. The Roman Empire, once an indomitable force that spanned continents, is now at a critical juncture. This year marks a significant turning point in history. The once mighty Roman Empire is formally divided into 2 halves, the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire. This division, intended to make governance more efficient, instead sows the seeds of discord and fragmentation. What was intended to streamline administration and strengthen defenses instead hastens the decline. The Western Empire, in particular, struggles with internal chaos and external threats. The Western Roman Empire, burdened by economic woes and increasingly desperate for manpower, relies more and more on barbarian mercenaries to bolster its legions. These mercenaries, while fierce and skilled in battle, bring their own set of challenges. This proves to be a double-edged sword. The reliance on mercenaries creates a fragile and volatile military structure, one that is prone to betrayal and insubordination. While fierce warriors, these mercenaries often lack loyalty to Rome. Their primary allegiance is to gold and personal gain, not to the empire they are paid to defend. Their allegiance is bought with gold, and their ambitions grow with each victory. As they taste success, their demands increase and their loyalty becomes even more tenuous. In the East, the Eastern Roman Empire, centered on Constantinople, fares somewhat better. The city, with its formidable walls and strategic location, becomes a beacon of stability and prosperity. Its economy is stronger, its defenses more secure. The Eastern Empire manages to maintain a semblance of the old Roman glory, even as the Western Empire falters. But even in the East, the old Roman virtues are fading. The once disciplined and austere Roman way of life gives way to decadence and excess. The empire grows increasingly bureaucratic, decadent, and out of touch with the realities facing the West. The bureaucrats, ensconced in their offices, fail to grasp the gravity of the situation. The stage is set for a cataclysmic shift in the balance of power. The once unified empire is now a house divided, teetering on the brink of collapse. The barbarians, once held at bay, are now poised to strike at the heart of the empire. They sense the weakness and disarray within the Roman ranks, and the Western Roman Empire, weakened by internal strife and economic turmoil, is ill-prepared to withstand the coming storm. The fall of this once great empire seems inevitable as the forces of history converge upon it. The year 410 AD marks a turning point in Roman history, the sack of Rome by the Visigoths. This event, unprecedented and shocking, sent ripples through the ancient world, signaling the beginning of the end for the once mighty Roman Empire. Led by Alaric, a cunning and ambitious warlord, the Visigoths, once Roman allies, turn on their former masters. Alaric, driven by a mix of desperation and opportunity, saw the vulnerability of Rome and seized the moment to strike. For 3 days, the Eternal City, the symbol of Roman power and invincibility, is subjected to an orgy of looting and destruction. Temples are desecrated, palaces plundered, citizens terrorized. The grandeur of Rome, built over centuries, is reduced to ashes and rubble in mere days. The empire, already teetering on the brink, is dealt a blow from which it will never truly recover. The sack of Rome is not just a physical assault, but a psychological one, shattering the aura of invincibility that had surrounded the empire for so long. The news of Rome's fall sends shockwaves throughout the empire and beyond. From the farthest reaches of the Roman territories to the neighboring barbarian lands, the message is clear. Rome is no longer the unassailable power it once was. It is as if the very foundations of the world have been shaken. The sack of Rome symbolizes a seismic shift in the balance of power, a prelude to the chaos and fragmentation that will follow. The barbarians, once thought of as a distant threat, have proven capable of striking at the heart of the empire. Their audacity and success embolden other tribes, setting the stage for further incursions and invasions. The myth of Roman invincibility is shattered. The once unthinkable has happened, and the psychological impact on both Romans and their enemies is profound. The sack of Rome is not the end of the Western Roman Empire, not yet. Despite the devastation, there remains a flicker of resilience among the Romans, a determination to rebuild and recover, but it is a harbinger of things to come. The sack of Rome foreshadows the relentless decline and eventual fall of the Western Roman Empire, a process that will unfold over the coming decades. The empire, weakened and fractured, is now easy prey for ambitious barbarian warlords. Its days are numbered. The sack of Rome marks the beginning of the end, a poignant reminder of the impermanence of even the greatest of civilizations.